Assalamualaikum Puan Emilia.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah. Hi Su.
Hi Puan, and hi to all of you. I
Hi
hope you
everyone.
all
Assalamualaikum.
I hope you all have a good day today. For your info, the objective of the interview session today is to understand responsibilities and background of OSHA practitioner person. The discussion shall be insightful and true to get better knowledge of the subject as a student. First of all, we want to thank you to Puan Emilia for your acceptance of our interview session today. For your info, ma'am, we are the EPJJ student from UiTM Shah Alam. My name, Suhaizan binti Zulkifli, and this group, we have 5 members in all. Before we start our interview, we need to introduce ourselves. So we start from Ami. Ami?
Hi, Madam. I'm Muhammad bin
Hi
Syaf.
Min. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah. My name is Muhammad Amin Syafiq bin Azman.
Kishas?
Assalamualaikum. Hai Puan Emilia. Nama saya Nur Syazana binti Syafdin.
Hello. Hi Syazana. Assalamualaikum.
Hi Puan Amelia, my name is Elatira binti Azlan. You can call me Ellie.
Okay. Hi Eli. Assalamualaikum.
Hi Puan Emilia, my name is Zahid Amirul bin Makdum.
Hi Zahid. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, thank you guys. Okay, ma'am, can we start our interview session?
Okay. Of
Okay,
course.
thank
Please proceed.
you. All right, thank you. Okay, for my first question is, can you please introduce yourself, like your profile, your background, and lastly for your years experience in OSHA. And ma'am, can you share with all of us the certificate of OSHA that you have? Thank you.
Okay, first of all, thank you guys for inviting me to be one of your panel interviewer. Okay, I would like to share as much possible in the sense of the governance structure of OSHA and also how it's actually been operationalized. Please bear with me. Again, I have not been to OSHA for quite some time, but I will use whatever relevant experience exposure that I have done with different industry, different organization. Just to preempt you in advance. Okay. My name is Emilia Muhammad Emla. I am 46 years old. Okay. The youngest in the audience here. I'm currently in SME Bank. It's actually a bank. I'm in a banking organization at the moment. I'm actually head operational risk management department. Under my department, there are three critical section, which is business continuity, operational risk, and Sharia risk. So all of them is very unique. Okay. If we were to say on the background and also my credential for OSHA, I am a qualified lead auditor. Okay, trained by CIRIM, certified by CIRIM under IMS, Integrated Management System. So one of the main syllabus inside there is actually OSHA. So I have OSHA 1800. It's also covered by OSHA document management system, which is where we operationalize OSHA. Why we do HIRAC, which is 17222. I also have environmental 1400 and also ISO 9001 2010. So that is something where you need to have experience. At the same time, you need to go and do like a hands-on project, like a team group, like what you guys doing here. Then CIRIM will validate, verify, and then you need to do some project paper, and then you go for exam, and then you get certified. So that is actually the biggest one. If you want to go into OSHA respectively, the highest credential or accreditation that you can obtain is the Green Book. That one you need to go to NIOSH in Bangi to go a few rounds of papers, and then you have to go to the site. You need to have theory, hands-on, get basically verified, validate. They go to your working office, working area, on site. Go and observe your practice of OSHA. Then only you can get certified. So the certification is given by NIOSH. You are aware what is NIOSH, right? But the what we call it, the common seal, the authorized ministry to give the common seal is actually DOSH, Department of Operationality, Safety and Health, which is also in Malaysia. So it's actually across the world is the same. Okay. I won't go too much on that. I just want to give you the overview. Any other question from the team?
Okay, madam. Thank you for your sharing. And I will pass the session to my friend Shazana. Shazana, please give your question to Madam Emilia.
Hi, madam. I would like to ask for my question. How did you actually conduct the audit at your workplace, or maybe as OSHA practitioner?
Okay, fundamentally, before we go to granular on audit, if you were to do OSHA and if you were to use the word competent, means you need to be certified and be a specialist to carry out that role. You have to have a authorized representative, meaning you have to have the person who is actually to conduct it. At the same time, you also need to perform high rec prior to the audit. Are you guys aware of high rec? Okay. And then you need to have some sort, if the place is like manufacturing, or maybe in oil and gas, you have operating plant unit, which is a lot of areas is considered as hazard points. You need to do exposure assessment. Then only you perform the audit. So the audit normally will not be done at every area. So you have like hazard point, and then in hazard point, you have a risk profile. So the profile is like a traffic light. You're aware of traffic light, right? We have green
Yes.
color, yellow color, and then we have also
Hello,
red color.
Red.
So when you do the high rec, the risk identification assessment, you will do each of the hazard point a risk profile. Whatever is considered green, you will not do exposure assessment. That also will not cover under audit. Whichever is under amber, you just do exposure assessment, and then you just do some what we call it corrective control. Corrective control meaning, just say the place is the hazard point is like a storage that you keep some chemical thing, and then they're supposed certain chemicals is actually the place is actually equipped, equipped to actually store chemical, but the certain chemicals cannot put together because you know, right, chemical reaction, if they are, even though they are closed in the container, but sometimes it's too long there, they can actually explode. So certain
Oh.
chemicals has certain, the biohazard, they have certain identification there that they put certain coding. Certain coding cannot be stored together. It's not like kita
Understand?
kat rumah kita boleh letak semua into our shelf. So when you look at that, it's considered amber because it can be potential risk where the storage room or the pantry can explode. So what you need to do, corrective action to make control, you get the people to remove the identified unnecessary chemical to the other storage room. So when that's done, you can put it as green. There are certain place which is really red. Red meaning like uh I will use as construction area. There's certain construction area where you have some facility equipment which is considered, in even in construction area, they actually segregate the infrastructure and the device equipment to a category. Just say there's a category of A, shouldn't be kept here B, because if you were to do, when you do construction, you go by zone, you do the section. If the thing you identified not supposed to be there, and is actually, if people were to go in, just say there's a place not supposed to be wet, it's supposed to be dry, because you are mixing your cement inside there. Sorry, I'm using various areas of
It's okay.
OSHA, and then suddenly you have a mixer there to run the cement, but it's actually a wet area. A mixer, even though you see it's a big thing, macam kita panggil tu lori telur, tahu kan, yang pusing-pusing. That mixer, dia punya component body, dia ada banyak kabel, there's many cable that is actually, dia punya fiber optic tu is not sealed. It has to be in a very dry area. Kalau you put in a wet area, kalau you mixing, and then dia selalunya it will be next to the water area because you need to have the water to mix and some substance. It is funny, but that's how construction works. But if you go beyond certain safety line, safety measures there, and then you actually put it there, that mixer can explode,
Understand?
Siapa yang duduk construction, then it's considered red. So there's something yang you need to do audit. Shazana, how can I address you? You have any nickname? Nama
Shaz.
pendek. Okay,
Shaz.
Shaz.
Okay.
So Shaz,
Uh,
that area you need to do audit.
Understand. You
Then
mentioned about we have to label the equipment or the chemicals. So how do
correct.
actually we do the labeling? Like at the substance or how?
Okay, so the critical people that normally in the construction area, they will be basically the project manager, manage the construction. Then we have
Mm-mm.
project secretary, and then we have also quantity surveyor, we have architect, and then we also have the site supervisor. So these people, prior to setting up a site, I take construction site, setting up a
Mm-mm.
site, they will do like inventory, discussion inventory, what are the things to be brought in. As you go in, you classify, and then you categorize, and then you do the coding, and then you do the labeling. Where goes where goes where. During that time, we already done high rec.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
We do done high rec because we want to see the risk assessment. If this thing were to mix at certain place, certain this. Again, high rec also determines what are the things which you need to have but you don't have. Just say to operate that construction site, you need to have certain license, certain equipment, certain device, certain specialists, certain resources. It's not there. And high rec also determine in order for you to identify adequate resources in the sense of equipment, people, process are there in place.
Mm-mm.
High rec doesn't only see threat, because threat can be where you actually operationalize your construction site, but then you don't have enough sufficient people or maybe equipment. That's also high rec. You cannot stop last minute, right? So those also high rec. So again,
Understand.
high rec is not only identify tempat tu bahaya ke, tempat tu
Mm-mm.
biohazard ke. Okay, kan nama dia pun risk assessment. Maknanya in order macam katalah you want to do your studying, right? You need to do
Mm-mm.
your project. What are the
Mm-mm.
things you need to have? Kalau you tak buat along the way, that will hinder you from completing. So again, I always use the word operationalization. So back to your
Understand.
audit,
Understand.
back to
Mm-mm.
audit, kalau tempat yang considered risk profile,
Mm-mm.
dia tengok ada, then dia akan minta the QS and the project supervisor, site
Mm-mm.
supervisor to do further investigation. Why are they staying here? Because kita early kita dah discussion, kita dah decide this goes here, goes here. So investigation kena buat. And investigation report has to go to project manager and has to be signed off and sent to DOSH.
Faham? Mm-mm.
Department. So DOSH akan tengok benda tu. Because if you don't declare, actually there's a gap in your construction site. Kalau ada walkthrough audit ataupun surprise check lah, spot check by people yang supposed to come for external, you boleh kena denda, your site can be closed for 2 weeks. Kalau construction close, it can close as 2 weeks. 2 weeks tu lama tau. For construction site, you cannot afford to close 2 weeks. So that
Mm-mm.
part of audit is ni. Later I can go further on the audit, and
Mm-mm.
then that's roughly the last point lah if we were talking about
Mm-mm.
audit.
Understand. Thank you for your clarification, Puan Emilia.
Okay, so just to give the audit part and also high rec, just for Shaz punya information and the rest of
Mm-mm.
you,
Mm-mm.
normally dekat situ kita ada satu template. Okay, dalam
Mm-mm.
template tu dia akan tengok what is the company name, construction on what project, and then siapa yang conduct. Siapa yang conduct? Maknanya the engineer, the architect kena daripada budak
Uh-huh.
MNE semua, kalau kita nak benda tu ada carpentry, everything kena letak dalam tu. Who is a site supervisor? Again site supervisor tu besar. Dalam site supervisor kita ada dengan assistant site supervisor yang jaga zone. And then kat mana location, and then estimating of the work to be done, maybe nak buat MNE ke, plastering work ke, and then date from when to when. So dia ada date tau, dia tak macam satu tempat tu jalan sekali. So dia ada date, and then siapa yang approve, maknanya yang bagi benda tu dibuat. Itu part of high rec dengan audit. And then dia ada the project manager punya sign off. So high rec dengan audit ni together in a template. So dalam tu dia akan ada listing of work activity. So dia ada macam template besar, ada banyak row. So work activity, apa nature of hazard. Okay, hazard tu can be katalah okay, I go dekat tempat yang macam kilang. So, is anybody here from manufacturing or factory? Tak ada
No.
siapa from manufacturing? Oh tak ada, okay. So katalah dekat sorry I bagi dynamics of hazard area.
It's okay.
Ada dalam dapat kilang ataupun katalah department kita sendiri, office kita sendiri yang kita datang hari-hari bekerja dekat workstation. Kita kena buat high rec juga. Maknanya kita kena tengok ada tak floor tu guarded ataupun uneven floor. Uneven floor maknanya katalah you masuk office, You tag je, you masuk glass door. Katalah dekat dia punya carpet tu tiba-tiba ada benda kat bawah tu. Orang boleh terlanggar dan terslip and then they can fall, right? That is considered hazard. Faham Ataupun kadang-kadang kita punya cleaning company, dia nak ambil jalan mudah, dia simpan dia punya vacuum ke, tempat cuci dia yang 3+1 vacuum tu. Tu perkara biasa I just want to give a sample. Dekat office yang biasa je, bukan dekat construction, bukan dekat mana-mana tempat. Dia simpan dia punya wire cable tu, dia letak kat bawah tu. Pasal dia senang, dia malah nak and then dia tolakkan je dia punya vacuum tu dekat tepi. So kalau orang jalan, nak kalau adik-adik yang pakai kasut tinggi lebih pada 3 inci, more than 3 inches,
Tersadung.
you can trip. Kalau you trip and then trip dia ada 2 jenis Kalau you trip, tiba-tiba jatuh, you boleh bangun balik, you might not get hurt severely. But if you were to fall down, trip and fall down, the next part of you is a workstation. Tahu workstation dia punya some of the desk workstation dia bukannya rounded edge, dia sharp edge. You tergantuk, just imagine how severe is that. Pasangkan kabel saja. Okay?
Faham?
Okay. And then that one will be more to, okay, katalah back to construction site dekat plastering tau. Dia ada, okay, I nak ceritakan susah pula nak faham. I think tapi you faham lah analogi yang dekat office tu So bila kita katalah, okay, all of you, are you guys all student ke? Are you guys working in office? So I want to understand whether you understand the office environment. Semua ada.
Actually we are working.
Office.
Oh, PJJ lah. You guys PJJ. Okay. So you work in katalah you work in office. Tiba-tiba your FM Facility Management kata nak buat renovation. Okay, 3 minggu korang tak masuk your office. You kena kerja kat rumah pasal dia buat renovation. Sometimes macam kita kata renovation kat rumah lah, tempat tu ditinggalkan, it was left not attended. So ada certain thing was not cleared. Sometimes when they do a workstation, especially when they add workstation, they forgot to do the ME part where they forgot to seal. Di tengah buat high rise ni, you tengok, okay, I'm conducting a high rise post renovation. So you walk in, you akan tengok floor, the floor must be carpeted, the carpet must be glued. Ada yang dia taruh je, dia tak tok gam. So bila you langgar dekat carpet tu, you boleh slip juga ke depan. Or you have to see whether the cable, wire semua are being plastered, are being closed. Ataupun plug point are being closed. Ataupun tak ada benda hanging, dangling from ni. Because construction. Ataupun they did not leave the paint open ataupun any substance yang chemical reaction. That is part of high rise as well. But it is very simple, just high rise post construction in a workstation yang simple dekat office. Faham? Okay ke? Do you guys get me?
Faham.
I don't want to give too hardcore punya area, nanti takut korang tak boleh relate.
I think based on Puan Amelia punya explanation, actually to navigate to how to actually OSHA eliminate those hazard in workplace, that would be Zahid punya second question. Zahid?
Betul. To mitigate and to minimize and not okay again that is part of occupational risk. We don't really eliminate Syaz, kita tak boleh eliminate, tak boleh buang. Kita boleh minimize, mitigate sahaja to make sure that bila kita buat high rise tu, in order to minimize, to mitigate orang jatuh, fall, slip, tak boleh. Elimination can be as not really lah, but we can put in that manner lah. Kalau kita selalu conduct high rise, tak ada orang akan slip lah. We can go into the approach as well.
Faham.
So to wrap up. Okay, to wrap up. So in your high rise tu kena ada your work activity, hazard, what can cause the hazard, apa effect dia. Okay. Apa existing control yang ada. Maknanya sekarang buat high rise ataupun safety helmet ke ataupun internal control, self-keeping selalu tengok, buat walk through audit. Apakah likelihood severity, like what I mentioned just now. Likelihood severity ni yang traffic light 3 color tu. You profilekan risk tu. Bila you dah buat, you dah ada listing banyak, mesti nak tahu kan apa benda nak profile kan untuk buat audit. And then risk tu, capacity dia macam mana, you kat situ ada control. Mana bila benda jadi, apa control nak taruh. And then apakah recommended measures to do. Maknanya katalah benda tu yang you cakap tadi, you masuk kabel tu tak tersorok kat bawah kan. You minta maybe that particular office manager tu remove kan, ataupun cleaning company tu jangan letak lagi. Atau carpet yang tak glue tu, minta FM datang, make sure orang yang kontraktor tu gluekan betul-betul. Okay. And then
Okay, faham.
siapa yang bertanggungjawab, who is action owner of that particular high rate, because as yourself you cannot be the action owner, you ada orang yang hanya identify access saja. Understand ya?
Understand.
Faham.
So far, Madam dah jawab soalan Shazana, is it?
Ya, Syaz punya.
And also I heard the hazard that soalan question yang Zahid pun ditanya tadi. So Zahid, is it okay?
Oh ya, tadi Zahid nak tanya. Maybe Zahid, you can re-emphasize balik question you.
About the hazard tu?
My question is how can OSHA eliminate those hazard in the workplace, and how OSHA eliminate maybe through supervise or checking something like that. Can you explain?
Okay, I think it goes back. I think your question quite similar because I think Shaz asked about how OSHA is implement and how do we conduct audit. I don't want to give you the fundamental the sequence of it, but I'm giving you the actual scenario. But your question I already answered, I think similarly, because when we do the high rate audit, that's how we actually eliminate, mitigate, minimize, hinder, transfer the. So it's part of OSHA, high rate mitigation strategy lah. So similar to what I answer, I guess, Zahid, if you don't mind, is it okay? Does that answer, because it's quite similar?
Yes. It's actually quite similar. Or maybe we can go through to the next question.
Amir?
Puan Amelia, Madam Amelia.
Yeah, Amir.
Maybe my question is out of the topic.
Boleh, can.
What are the potential environment issue associated with offshore oil and gas development project?
Wow, environmental.
Yes, about oil and gas.
If you were to, okay, in oil and gas, you're aware of Petronas, right? Kita ambil
Yes.
Petronas lah.
Petronas.
Petronas has the biggest, most OPU. What is OPU? Operating Plant Unit. And they are situated in Kerteh. Have you been to Kerteh? It's actually in Terengganu lah.
I'm born Terengganu lah.
Bagus. Terengganu. So kat sana we have called Rantau Petronas. Okay. So in Rantau Petronas, there is a place where you have office administration and also technical engineering there. So when you talk about environmental, this particular, because you cannot expect Petronas in KLCC to monitor and manage what is happening dekat Terengganu, right? So we have a sub office in Rantau. So Rantau tu macam corporate office lah. Where we have admin, macam office management, engineering, HSE, OSHA people there to manage, because kita ada operating plant unit. Apakah operating plant unit? Dia bukannya actually macam kita kata platform yang dekat offshore, bukan. Dia juga bukan FSPO, dia bukan. Tapi dia adalah tempat yang macam refinery. Dekat situ lah actually dia macam manufacture, dia macam kilang minyak lah. That is where we process all the minyak to make sure minyak, and then we transport, because the oil and gas are being processed in an operating plant unit. Operating plant unit is similar like a manufacturing, but of course the environmental punya requirement tu a bit besar lah. So going to environmental, going to environmental, which under 1400 ISO 1400 1400, dia juga kena align dengan OSHA 1800. Dia punya environmental dia, kalau kita kata potential threat yang paling besar, okay, if you living nearby residential, ada kawasan perkampungan atau perumahan kawasan dekat OPU tu, automatically you are given additional insurance by Petronas. Dia orang akan datang tanya seorang-seorang, because katalah operating plant unit tu terbakar atau meletup, the whole place tu akan kaput, can gone. You know, chemical blow, chemical spill is something where ni, katalah OPU tu dia tak meletup, dia ada chemical spill, dia jadi airborne macam sekarang pandemik ni, dia airborne, dia boleh masuk dalam ruang udara. Dan saya katalah saya duduk dekat dengan OPU dekat Kerteh tu, saya duduk mana-mana kawasan perumahan, dalam masa tak sampai 1 hari, less than 24 hours, the chemical apa tu spill punya effect tu dia akan masuk darah dara, semua orang akan
Hidu.
terhidu. Okay. So itu adalah potential threat yang sangat besar, ataupun yang kaput terus dia tengah meletup. So what we do when we talk back to environmental tadi, dia ada high rate juga. So kita tadi buat high rate dekat capacity yang kecil kan. So kita ada engineer dengan safety officer dekat Petronas, dia bawah crisis juga, bawah risk management. Diorang akan datang jumpa dengan semua authority yang ada, bomber, polis, town council, majlis pemandaran, semua akan buat high rate bersama-sama, tengok capacity dekat mana tempat yang akan jadi, dia ada hazard point juga, hard point, mana yang kita kata yang akan kena paling teruk, paling kurang teruk, dan yang tak kena sangat. So pada situ dia akan tengok apakah nature, sama ada segi meletup ke OPU, ataupun ada chemical spill yang airborne, ataupun mungkin dalam OPU tu sendiri ada negligent, staff negligent, terbakar ke, ada fire ke, faham? So environmental ni senang. The minute je dia terjadi, dia jarang jadi. Tapi kalau dia hit, macam saya cakap tadi Amir, environmental kita dah kena affect lah. Your airways tu dah bercampur dengan chemical. Kalau macam air, kita boleh kalau benda tertumpah, kita boleh pakai air cuci, right? Macam airway airborne. How do you do it? Itu yang kita panggil Jabatan Alam Sekitar, JAS semua, Town Council, Majlis Pemandaran, dia ada orang yang manage benda ni. So diorang akan buat cleansing udara.
Jadi akan
kadang-kadang
ada compensate lah untuk penduduk kat area situ.
So what they do, dia akan duduk dengan of course the authority, termasuklah hospital dengan klinik-klinik pemampiran. It's not easy to open a OPU you pasal you involve community community. Environmental ni community So dia akan ada orang yang kalau apa-apa kita akan buat check terus. Kata benda tu jadi, tapi again this is very what we call it controversy. Most of the time the oil and gas company wouldn't want to say that kita dah tahu mahu ketuk-ketuk, kita tadi ada chemical spill dah masuk dalam airborne. They won't do that. They will come in different manner where as part of high rate, as part of risk management, as part of audit juga, dia akan buat macam periodic checking. Then because dia bawa insurans, right, so the insurance company kata okay, kita datang buat berkala setiap quarterly, setiap 3 bulan sekali, just nak check everybody punya okay ke tak. Faham tak? So orang tak tahulah because benda tu selalu dibuat. That is to mitigate. Then audit will come and check balik high rate assessment, pergi kat mana. Katalah tiba-tiba dia tengok ada 3-4 keluarga yang selalu sakit. Kenapa diorang ni? Ada something happen ke? Dia will also do that for the employee lah dekat OPU macam manufacturing. Manufacturing dia punya staff dia ada 5 insurans dia cover minimum. Daripada lim semua apa benda. So dia akan buat. Then audit on Osha yang tu termasuk dengan environmental, dia akan pergi kat keluarga yang 3-4 orang tu, dia akan check why these people is having medical atau health issue. That is environmental lah. I hope I answer your
yes. I
question.
got your question. I got your answer. So next, what others?
Okay, next Ellie. Thank you, Puan Amelia.
Okay.
I have a question I want to ask for Amelia. Can you share challenges that you face as a competitive person? Like you can share your experience before this. Maybe if you don't have this experience, maybe you can share other story that you know.
Challenges being a competent OSHA practitioner lah. Wow, there are many challenges. First of all, as OSHA, I carry the role as safety manager. Okay, even though I'm not a qualified OSHA in sense of Green Book, but I do have other certification that ni. So I jadi macam what you call it, macam polis pencen lah, pengawas. I will come every now and then with the project manager to inspect, tengok safety So they are at the same time I am also being paid by the company. So I orang internal. I datang, I buat spot check tempat company I sendiri. So project manager is my friend, my peers. Macam role auditor lah. You audit orang yang kerja tempat you, company you. So just say I datang, I ada checklist I do my checklist, I kata this thing here, this is a scope here. Then suddenly I see gaps. Macam I kata yang tadi tu, I buat quick high rate. I tengok patutnya this mixer ni not supposed to be at a wet area, supposed to be dry area. And then to move mixer, you cannot move mixer macam you naik kereta tau, naik lori. You have to have a license to move the mixer certain waktu, siapa yang nak drive mixer tu, dekat
So bukan
mana.
suka-suka lah.
Nak alihkan tu je dalam few thousand ringgit cost. Because mixer tu dia ada benda-benda yang ni. Orang selalu tengok mixer tu atas jalan dia macam macam lori telur je. No, mixer tu sebenarnya sangat dynamic. So, kalau I datang, tiba-tiba I jadi polis pencin, macam pengawas sekolah lah buat spot check. I cakap, benda di sini. I masuk dalam report. Which have I done before. And then suddenly my project director, bukan project manager, project yang tinggi lagi, pangkat lagi, pergi bagi report dekat audit, bagi report dekat big boss panggil. Because if I were to ask them to remove, mixer not only one sometimes we have 3 mixer. Mixer pun ada size juga. To remove maybe that particular mixer punya nak removekan dia tu, nak letak balik tempat dia, it maybe cost about 30,000. Do you think company we just spend 30,000 like that? Mesti dia cakap, alah Emilia, just close 2 eyes je lah. Jangan masuk report tapi kita remove. Tapi kita daripada 3 mixer, kita remove 1 mixer. But for me, I identify risk, occupational risk. Yang kalau mixer ni tak buat, kalau tiba-tiba dia masuk ke tempat yang wet, kabel dia yang sensitif tu boleh meletup, mixer tu meletup, tak ke satu tempat cause site dengan keliling dia meletup, berapa banyak nyawa yang ni. Faham tak?
Kalau apa susah, ayolah nanti dia punya kalau berlaku kejadian apa-apa kan, nanti kita juga dipersalahkan sebab kita person in charge tu.
Correct. And then paling senang lah PPE. Paling senang tu spot check highlight yang paling senang I buat. I duduk dekat pintu masuk site je. Tahu tak PPE? Personal Protection Equipment. Okay, sekarang in pandemic, kita punya PPE kita adalah 3-ply mask kan, face mask kan, semua tu. Okay. So when you want to enter a site, macam I dulu pun, I kena ada CIDB CIDB green card. I nak masuk site, I kena ada benda tu. I masuk a yellow book. I'm not a green book but I'm a yellow book. I masuk, I tengok orang yang nak masuk. Okay, semua ada. Selalu kita akan tengok macam-macam warga negara kat situ kan. Tak kisah warga negara apa pun citizenship, they are actually working in the construction site. They are need to be equipped with PPE. So PPE yang paling standard, helmet, dengan dia punya clip, dengan dia punya vest. Vest tu kena ada reflector Walaupun siang. Reflector, you know what is reflector? Maknanya dia ada garis yang kalau lampu suluh ada, dia boleh reflect balik. Macam LED colour.
Like glow in the dark lah.
Yes, glow in the dark. Dia kena ada boot. Boot dia safety boot bukan boot yang nak pakai macam boot yang tu. And then kalau orang tu masuk, dia punya kerja dia lebih daripada 3 feet, dia kena pakai body harness, semi body harness. So when I duduk kat sana, I akan tengok kata dalam construction site tu ada 50 ke 60 orang. Siapa yang patut pakai normal PPE, extended PPE. Standard PPE yang biasa tu, extended apa-apa. So I kena make sure orang tu ada tau. Kalau dia kena pakai half harness, full body harness. Walkie talkie. Okay, walkie talkie penting. If you already saw you've seen a crane, tahu crane kan? Crane yang tinggi tu. Kat belakang. Saya rasa Amir punya gambar ada satu crane kat belakang.
Betul.
Dia ada crane.
Contoh.
Crane ni, nak operate crane ni bukan seorang tau. Dia ada 3 operator. 3 operator crane. Orang yang bawa crane, orang yang navigate crane tu dengan orang yang kat atas kat mana crane tu nak letak barang. So walkie talkie semua kena ada. Ya. So itu challenges dia because selalu dia orang takak muat je tak nak pakai. Macam ni lah orang bawa motor, pakai helmet tapi tak nak pakai dia punya strap kan. Ini pakai helmet tapi tak ada clip. So itu adalah high rec ataupun OSHA requirement yang spot check paling senang. I duduk kat pintu masuk je. Where is on daily basis dalam pada 60 orang, 30 orang akan tak ikut peraturan. So challenges dia again, if I were to report this and ataupun I tak benar ke orang tu masuk ataupun helmet selalunya kita akan bagi dia bawa balik. Helmet bawa balik. Boot semua simpan, helmet saja bawa balik. Bukan helmet penting dengan clip dia. Tiba-tiba tak ada helmet extra, orang tu kena masuk untuk buat spesifik kerja. So dengan I tak bawa dia masuk, satu hari dia tak boleh masuk, kerja tak boleh buat, dah ada gap right, daily operation cannot done. So the challenges is, kalau benda tu tak siap, orang dependent benda yang dia nak buat. Katalah dia adalah tukang bancuh simen je. Bancuh simen bukan boleh bancuh-bancuh You have to have a authorized certified person. So pancuhan dia pun lain. So Ellie, itulah challenge saya yang paling simple, yang tadi tu yang pasal yang nak movement. So I punya challenges, I kena jadi orang yang telus dan tulus. I have to be very what we call it, ethical and transparent. If I don't do my work, I gonna get audited. Because ada auditor yang akan audit, ada juga orang DOSH, orang luar yang akan audit I. Kalau dia buat spot check, dia tengok benda macam PPE tu pakai suka-suka hati je, tak pakai cukup, it will cost my job. I will lose my job. My reputation tak apa, image saya tak jaga, saya tak kisah image. Saya punya license untuk carry that role will be revoked.
Puan Emilia, boleh tak explain more pasal how license tu boleh kena revoke? Ataupun macam let's say if yang these people ni dia tak follow the rules kan, dia orang kena macam tadi Puan Emilia ada mention yang kalau dekat oil and gas kita kena gantung like 2 weeks. Kalau in terms of macam competent person pula, dia orang kena gantung ke, kena tarik balik lesen ke?
Okay, first of all 2 weeks tu is for construction Syaz, untuk oil and gas dia different, dia lagi severe. They can be on the spot immediate, terus sita tutup. Masa oil and gas again compared to construction, oil and gas is quite severe. Dia memang kalau buat risk profiling traffic light tu dia memang dekat kuning dah sentiasa. Maknanya kena alert. Because like I said, chemical spill je boleh affect the whole community. Macam construction is also equivalent, tapi dia not as rigid as oil and gas. So sebab tu dia boleh ambil masa dalam 2 minggu buka balik. So untuk kalau the organisation to be revoke license ataupun to be hang ataupun kena suspend kan. Tapi untuk practitioner OSHA, dia immediate action. In the event dia tangkap, I did not deliver my role competently, diligently, adequately, I will be suspended. I will put under investigation. So just say if I'm a safety manager for 3 or 4 project site, every single project site tak boleh. Just say I'm a freelancer. I bukan kerja untuk this particular company. I also freelancer tempat lain. I cannot carry. I mean an investigation can be as quick as within 2 weeks kepada berbulan-bulan. Because ada kes yang besar-besar yang mengakibatkan safety injury, health safety injury yang orang kemalangan teruk ataupun mati, death, sudden death and then they will check, dia orang drill down balik buat audit, deep dive, tengok, check sebenarnya kena-mena dengan safety manager. Macam my role lah, competent OSHA practitioner. So I boleh take involved and I can even, dia macam doktor juga, doktor pembedahan, doktor yang specialist MD. I mungkin boleh digantung, tidak boleh bekerja selama kalau ikutkan dulu requirement DOSH 6 months. Minimum 6 months. Setengah tahun tidak bekerja.
Wow, lama
6 months. No, because diorang take it, okay, dia dekat dalam kriteria, dia ada juga like what Syaz cakap, dia ada point-point kat mana yang kalau ni berlaku katalah benda yang mengakibatkan hanya macam tak pakai PPE, that one quite minor. Benda yang mengakibatkan because of that, I punya incompetency tu, I tak competent menjalankan tugas, it can carry to death, that one can be. Dia ada dia punya profiling juga 5x5 dekat mana benda. So dia buat mapping juga, dia ada mapping juga, dia tak adalah simply everything sama je. So that particular gap, fault ke incident, issue yang jadi, dia ada leveling dia. So I will take as mere as PPE not been adhered to, or because of you not competently carry out your role, and then maybe I ambil rasuah minta maaf, I tutup mata, I ambil rasuah bribery I tak kisah. Because of that, I bagi orang tu jalan juga, I tutup mata, dapat rasuah, ada orang mati. So audit is not only to do prior, during high rec, it also done during high rec, it also done post high rec. So when you have done your high rec, audit can come in as well to validate and verify back your high rec. Or it can be during. Maknanya dah buat high rec, dia nak operationalize BEU macam biasa, masuk question site, itu pun boleh ada audit. So audit ni sepanjang masa dia akan ada dia punya point-point dia lah.
Faham. Okay, thank you Puan
Sorry.
Emilia.
lupa nak tambah, sorry, dekat dalam mana-mana industri, kita ada OSHA committee, sorry OSHA committee. Katalah saya bekerja di bank. Walaupun bank tak ada construction, tak ada kena oil gas, chemical spill ke apa benda, kita tetap ada OSHA committee dan kita ada juga kita kena ikut DOSH punya requirement 1994 section 3B mengatakan piagam keselamatan dan kesihatan. So all organisation or company, they have to berikrar mengikut piagam yang untuk dia make sure yang keselamatan kesihatan dia punya what we call it pekerja dia, staff dia dijaga. Dan diorang kena ambil insurans indemnity liability tampal katalah bangunan tu mungkin ada 1,000 orang. Kalau kira kali berapa harga nyawa seseorang, dia kena tambal dan ambil insurans. It can be 10 million, it can be 100 million depending. So insurans kena ambil. Itu adalah salah satu OSHA dengan high-rate punya value add to ensure that kita punya reason kenapa OSHA ni ada, kenapa OSHA ni kena buat. Itu salah satu. Dan kita ada OSHA committee yang convene setiap quarterly. So OSHA committee dia ada wakil majikan, wakil pekerja, ikut rank lah. So dia akan ceritakan anything yang berlaku. Macam bank kurang lah. Macam bank kurang, but I want to share with you, dekat one bank I kerja, ada orang dia pergi, you guys semua pernah masuk bank kan? Semua pernah masuk bank. Bila masuk bank, selalu bank dengan counter, dia selaras kan? Ada juga bank yang bank lama-lama, bangunan dia, yang you kena naik, bukan tangga, dia ada macam step. You nak naik, dia macam ada 2-3 kena pijak step. Tangga kecil untuk ke counter. So ada case dulu, one of the bank that I work, dia bila kita ada steps selagi benda tu ada dua step, dia punya undang-undang OSHA dia, you kena ada rail, kena ada pemegang. Walaupun 2 je. Ya, it's a requirement OSHA. Dan you kena ada tanda yang masking tape tu. To make sure yang benda ni adalah tapi dekat tempat ni kita tak pakai sangat lah. Dekat tempat construction ke tempat-tempat ni, dekat tempat corporate companies kita pakai colour yang merah putih ataupun macam zebra tu hitam putih. Ada kejadian makcik ni dia orang tua kan, tak semua orang boleh pijak tangga, so kena panjat 3. Dan dia bila nak panjat dia tak ada tempat nak berpaut, so dia naik, dia terjatuh, kepala dia terhantuk kat kaunter. That is also OSHA requirement So kalau you katalah you buat high rack, you masuk ke dalam tu, patut you kena tengok dekat tangga tu kena ada rail ke tak. Itu paling basic.
Faham?
Basic
Lepas tu isi ni feedback form.
Ini bukan feedback form makcik tu dia bukan, makcik tu alhamdulillah dia tidak cedera teruk, tapi kita bagi dia terus medical attention, bawa ke ni. Tapi anak dia sue the bank.
Dah tak ada komplain dah, sue terus.
Ya, saman so faham OSHA punya requirement
Faham.
Dia mitigate you, dia menjaga reputasi you. Ya, dia menjaga reputasi, dia juga make sure yang you tak terima penalti mati compound daripada Majlis Pembandaran ataupun pada DOJ ataupun pada ni. Make sure that tempat you tidak disita. Katalah bank you kat situ, satu je branch you kat situ, dekat that particular state kan. It give image to your bank semua. Understand OSHA punya
Faham.
managing reputational risk
Kepentingan.
Ya.
Kepentingan dalam
Zahid faham Zahid macam nampak dah.
Yes, I understand. Actually, I want to ask one more last question. What do you think about the incident at one of the biggest company at Malaysia regarding to the COVID? About the whistleblower and something like that. Because from that we can see that how the company actually managed by the I think untruthful untruthful employee. What do you think?
Okay, saya dah berikrar. I took off already. I'm actually in a few professional group bawa OSHA, bukan OSHA lah, bawa krisis. I cannot share you further on that, minta maaf. Banyak berita-berita sensasi. But what I would like to share with you, again, I want to use corporate companies. Dalam corporate companies, remember I told you just now kita ada OSHA committee, right? In all corporate companies, regardless whatever your industry, whatever your role, you have a HSE department. Okay, you nak menjawab Zahid tapi secara tak langsung lah. Okay, now everybody knows kita kena pandemic starting from March. 18 March kita ada pandemic, which is COVID-19. Everybody is so overwhelmed with it. Tak ada siapa pun yang dekat dalam Malaysia ataupun seluruh dunia yang bersiap siaga, bersedia, prepared. Again, OSHA ni is also part of readiness and preparedness. Macam saya buat business continuity kan. Tak ada orang yang ni, macam katalah ada setengah tempat HSE dia tak buat high rate. Tak buat high rate maknanya dia kena ambil hazard threat. Dia kena tengok juga pandemik, sama ada pandemik ke, H1N1 ke, MERS-CoV ke. Dia ada satu dalam risk assessment dia, dalam sini bawah health. Kan dia health and safety kan. Health tu ada semua penyakit-penyakit, dengue lah, inilah apa semua. So maybe bila dia buat high rate, dia tak tengok benda tu as full scale. They did not, the HSE of few organisation, termasuk tempat yang kontroversi tu, they did not manage thing well. Maknanya high rate will not perform, bukan tak perform adequately. Bukan tidak dibuat, tidak mencukupi. It's not done adequately, so they don't. So pada benda simple, tak ada proper first aid, medical aid kat situ, tak ada sick bay, tak ada tempat yang proper bagi face mask apa semua. All that sebenarnya kena ada. So ada banyak organisation they did not do that. And then katalah bila jadi pandemik ni, how do you manage orang case pandemik positif, PUI 1, macam mana buat all that. That because the high rate was not performed adequately, that derived to yang case sensasi Zahid lah. Sorry tak boleh nak share. Nanti saya
It's okay.
punya
I
kad kena
understand.
tarik.
I understand.
So you can see how ni, and then this high rate is also a big contributor in managing pandemic. So now kita dah masuk cycle dah ke tahun kedua dah ni pandemic. High rate juga dah berbeza. So normally pada high rate tu you should come up with a pandemic plan, pandemic assessment. Because sekarang ni COVID-19 dah mungkin jadi COVID 2020 because kita dah ada banyak benda yang variant dengan hybrid dan mutant kan. So mungkin you buat vaksin untuk COVID-19 tapi penyakit ni dia boleh jadi benda yang evolve. So untuk you, katalah as a student UiTM, maybe you kena tanya soalan, what is your readiness, preparedness, high rate assessment on COVID 2020? Benda yang out of, again COVID-19 ni came from SARS. Dia ada H1N1, H4N10 semua bagai-bagai. So dalam you punya high rate sekarang, katalah moving forward, if it's not under your question, your high rate punya assessment dah kena satu section yang memang into health terus. So something that you need to say to your HSC people, you guys are doing office management macam tu kan, office system
Betul.
One of the system process improvement BPI, business process improvement is you will make sure that your HSE are also well equipped with bukan safety saja, health.
Yes, health
Daripada
problem.
tempat tu mungkin kalau tengok macam mana capacity, mungkin kalau tak ada klinik ke dalam bangunan tu kena ada sick bay. Mungkin your OSHA committee kena selalu ni, and then medical aid macam mana, how do you manage in the loss of tiba-tiba ada 2-3 organisasi sebenarnya because of COVID-19 staff dia actually fall dead. Dia bukan bring in dead tau. Dekat pandemik kita ada bring in dead kan. Orang tu tiba-tiba pasal COVID, kita tak tahu ada COVID, tiba-tiba dia mati. Yang bring in dead ni, some of them actually sebenarnya dah mati kat tempat kerja. Tu lagi sensasi Zahid You Google, kita ada nama dia bring in dead, BID. Maknanya saya macam ni, tasyuk kita okay datang office, walaupun work from home tapi curi-curi masuk, konon nak print benda kat office. Masuk. Kita tak tahu sebenarnya kita dah kena, kita bawa asymptomatic. Maknanya we are not somebody yang kita rasa ada simptom. Tak ada simptom. Lepas tu 3 hari lepas bawa buat swab test, PCR, negatif. We walk in office, macam orang sakit jantung, kita mati. Mati pasal COVID. Pasal sebenarnya dah beberapa hari kita punya paru-paru dah kena attack. So, atas dasar keselamatan data peribadi, Zahid Ada banyak benda-benda macam ni, diorang tak cakap orang tu mati kat mana. So tak payah buat contact tracing lah, dia dah mati. So diorang bring dia BID. Orang yang BID ni bukan orang yang dekat MAEPS tau, bukan orang yang bawah kuarantin, orang yang memang orang biasa-biasa yang mungkin dia menamatkan nyawa dia bukan di rumah, di tempat kerja ataupun di luar. Faham? So those are the thing. And then bila bring in that, macam mana you manage? Macam you kata orang yang positif, you suruh orang tu home quarantine, orang yang duduk berdekatan dengan dia, tutup tempat tu buat jadi PUI1 kan. You suruh tutup, quarantine, semua home quarantine, you buat sanitation cleansing right. Tapi kalau orang yang bring in that ni, macam mana you nak manage? So Osha tu because Osha ni besar safety and
So
health.
dia ada requirements lah yang kena follow. Kan?
Ada requirements yang memang bawa sekarang because semua sekarang bukan bawa Osha dah, dia bawa KKM because sekarang pandemic. But as a competent Osha person, you kena make sure orang tu pandang jauh. How do you manage this now? So high rate assessment sekarang dah dynamic lah, tak macam dulu.
Okay. Okay, thank you Puan Amelia for all information. Actually it's very useful for us as a student ni tau. And then
Betul ke useful? Harap useful lah.
useful sangat.
Useful, banyak tips.
Banyak tips, banyak fakta yang kita boleh ikut. And then boleh tak I buat conclusion? Okay. The conclusion is OSHA regulation help reduce future incidents by identifying potential hazard and the safe environment, keep employees at work by reducing the chance of accident or health problem. That's the conclusion from me lah.
Management of reputational risk.
Management
Of
okay.
reputation image. If you tak manage OSHA properly, image you and then ensuring that your organisation be able to operate without any penalty atau compound. Itu benda besar because you always have to look at event, causal, event and effect. So causal dia apa, effect dia, event dia apa sehari-hari aktiviti dan apa effect dia. So OSHA, competent OSHA, make sure that you need to ni lah, of course not you guys, tapi of course when you put out the process and requirement HSE, OSHA people ni, you have to have that because reputasi you buat kerja macam mana bagus di department lain, satu benda dia macam kita panggil dia black swan. Boleh google black swan. Dia low in frequency, jarang jadi, tapi satu kali jadi impact dia tinggi. Satu office boleh disita, satu office boleh tutup, license dia boleh di revoke. Dan impact paling besar kalau reputasi tak jaga, bukan pasal kita malu nama keluar kat dalam surat khabar, name and shame, bukan. Semua staff akan kehilangan kerja. Employee will lose their job. Just because OSHA are not being managed.
Okay. Alright. Okay. Thank you, madam, for good info. So, anyone that boleh kita close the session?